Never seen such a chill survival on a deserted island, while others are starving 3 days out of 4. This man is already living it up on his private island, enjoying luxurious seafood feasts. When he's bored, he even chats with sharks. He's turned survival into pure art. As we all know, the first rule of survival is water. Luckily, the island has plenty of coconut trees, and this guy's climbing skills absolutely top-notch. With just a few moves, he's already grabbed a bunch. After drinking some fresh coconut water to rehydrate, he decided to explore the island. The area isn't very large, and that swamp ahead might hold some food. But the path looks rough. One wrong step and it's game over. Still, high risk means high reward. This is prime hunting ground. Before long, he made a discovery. Look at that, at least half a kilo right there. That alone could make him a full meal. But he didn't stop there. In a nearby pool, he spotted an even bigger one. This one looked like a real fighter. If it clamped down on him, his trip might have ended right there. After bagging both, he somehow found yet another one. But catching too many is wasteful. After all, the island's his forever. No need to overdo it. So, he brought his haul back happily to camp, ready for a big feast. First thing, he washed the crabs nice and clean, lined them up neatly by the fire. They still looked feisty though. Ready for a final showdown, he gathered some firewood nearby, plus a few old coconuts, used them as stones to ring the fire pit, and lit it up. Once the flames were strong enough, he used his machete to deal with the crabs. Just then, my cousin, who's house hunting, called me. She said renting these days is tough. If you're stressed, try 58.com. Rent directly from landlords, no agent fees. Anyway, back on the island, our guy was living like a king. One bite, pure bliss. Flavor that lingers, and not just tasty. Its protein content puts beef to shame. That's serious fuel. After stuffing down to crabs, he felt full. So, he grabbed a couple logs by the beach, stuck them between driftwood, and did some pull-ups. But fun aside, he still needed a proper shelter. He wasn't too picky about design though. Just threw together some logs and branches. But that night, his back nearly broke from the hard ground. So the next morning, he collected new materials to build a better one. He planted logs into the ground, laid two branches across as beams, and wrapped them with fresh bark to hold the frame steady. For roofing, the island had plenty of materials. Coconut leaves were perfect. But who knew picking them was so tough? He had his own method, though it sure strained his back. He covered the roof with leaves, laid some on the floor for bedding. And just like that, the shelter was done. Yep, you heard right, that was it. The most casual shelter I've ever seen. After a nap, he felt hungry again. So, he went to the beach to find more food. He found plenty of eels there, but catching them by hand was nearly impossible. So, he kept walking along the shore, still searching. Along the way, he found all kinds of strange creatures, and even greeted them politely. I grabbed the shark. After wandering for ages, he found only one trapped coconut crab in a pit. But he wasn't in the mood for crab again. So after some thought, he decided to dive underwater for food instead. I have to say, the island Xiao Shui bought is truly rich in resources. Even lobsters can be found almost everywhere. In no time, he caught 2 of them. As usual, he started preparing the fire to cook. He dug a pit in the sand and stacked stones to make a small campfire. After it turned to charcoal, he placed the lobsters on top, grilling them until golden and crispy. Looking at the juicy, tender lobster, I couldn't help but drool in admiration. As for its protein content, guess for yourself. A perfect day always starts with good food and scenery. Apparently, this coconut tree knocked down by the typhoon is the island's most exotic delicacy. After drinking the first cup of morning coconut water, Xiao Shui decided to get something to eat. He found a sturdy stick by the beach and sharpened one end into a spear. Then he began searching for food near the shore. After a bit of searching, he spotted a large fish trapped in a tide pool. It was quite a big one. Holding his wooden spear, he chased it into a corner and stabbed wildly without hesitation. Just like that, with a single stick, Xiao Shui caught a huge fish. While looking closely, it was a 2.5 jin, about 1.5 kilograms. You should know, spotted grouper. This kind of fish is quite expensive back home. It sells for hundreds per kilogram. Just by its price alone, you can imagine how delicious it must taste. After cleaning it by the shore, he headed back to cook his seafood feast. Using some stones, he built a simple stone fire pit, then gathered some dry twigs and quickly lit the fire. Now it was time for the grouper to shine. 15 minutes later, the fatty fish was grilled to perfection, aromatic and golden. After eating, he lay back and relaxed again. Life on this island was peaceful, yet a bit dull. To kill time, he decided to find some excitement. So, he tried free diving. Seeing the ocean teeming with life, I could only think there's more food than he could ever. Driven by curiosity, he swam farther away from the shore. Then suddenly, a massive creature appeared. It startled him quite a bit. It was a giant whale shark, feeding on plankton and small fish, gentle in nature, and the largest fish species in the world. They can grow up to an incredible 20 meters long. After dismissing the idea of eating it, Xiao Shui found a 2.5 jin sea conch instead that would make up for the loss. But just as he lit the fire, rain started pouring down. He quickly covered the charcoal with coconut shells, using the remaining heat to steam the conch. It was the first heavy rain since he arrived, and Xiao Shui couldn't help feeling excited. Not only did it cool him off, but it also gave him precious fresh water. He cooled the steamed conch in seawater, then scooped the meat from inside. That plump, juicy conch meat was enough to make anyone jealous. My molars almost cracked just watching. To bathe in fresh rainwater and feast on roasted conch in this deserted island paradise was truly a rare freedom. A life experience unlike any other. Another beautiful morning came. Xiao Shui woke up in his simple shelter and found some clean fresh water nearby. But it wasn't enough. So, he went again to find his understanding coconuts. After drinking his fill, he decided to find something meaningful to do. As the saying goes, live off the mountain if near the mountain. Living by the sea if near the seafood is a must. With an old blade and a wooden stick. After a bit of modification by Xiao Shui, they became a top-quality spear. With his 2.5-minute breath-holding skill, catching seafood is just a piece of cake. After wrestling with a grouper for quite some time, he spotted another one. A silly fish that thought it was well camouflaged with no stage fright at all. It ended up becoming tonight's grand feast. Even with those white eyes, it couldn't resist looking at the camera. After grilling the fish to perfection crispy outside, he added some shells he just picked up. Then chopped open a coconut to quench his thirst. Just like that, an ordinary meal was easily done. Soon after, a giant charcoal grilled shell was ready. The orange flesh looked so juicy and tender. One bite was pure satisfaction. Just living off nature's bounty like this, his little island life is enough to make me green with envy. After a quick moment of gratitude, it was time to find something to do. After all, aside from eating and drinking, there's not much else on the island. Bored out of his mind, he played with sand for a while. Recently, he discovered quite a few snack wrappers on the island, so Xiao Shui decided to build himself a shelter above the ground. He found a few planks by the shore and placed them on a large tree root. Just like that, a simple yet, let's say extra simple shelter was done. Plain and modest, but livable. After resting for a bit, he decided to stroll around his backyard. A few days ago, he caught quite a few crabs there, so let's see how his luck is today. No sooner said than done. A big oil crab showed up right before his eyes. Wow! When he dug it out, the size was actually kind of scary. That one crab alone would be enough for a full meal. So, he hurried back home. Once at the beach, he cleaned the crab thoroughly, dug a pit in the sand, covered it with a rock, and sealed it for now. Then went to gather some sticks and driftwood. These ocean leftovers still have plenty of use for someone stranded on an island. They're treasures. Once the fire was going strong, the crab that had been sealed for a while seemed to have passed away early. Still, Xiao Shui gave it a symbolic rescue. Looking at the now purple-red crab, he decided to add some seasoning, just to boost the flavor. In the cracks of seaside rocks, there's often a bit of sea salt. Perfect for marinating the crab. Couldn't be better. Though the crab looked a bit watery, judging by his face, the taste wasn't bad at all. As usual, after eating, he needed some entertainment. Free diving sounded perfect. Once underwater, he spotted a giant cuttlefish. Unfortunately, he didn't bring the spear. Otherwise, he might have had an extra midnight snack. After some relaxing time underwater, Xiao Shui grabbed his spear and headed back, only to find a surprise along the way. Under a tree stump, he found something thrown away. A cooking pot. That was a real treasure for him. After eating seafood and crabs every day, he'd been craving some vegetables for vitamins. So, he quickly set up a campfire, collected some fresh water, and made himself a pot of wild veggies. He'd been craving that taste for ages. After all that meat, a little green veggie felt just right. After dinner, he lay down on the spot. Another fulfilling day well spent. While others worry about how many meals they'll miss in 3 days, this guy has already achieved seafood freedom. Not only did he enjoy fresh teppan squid, but also fragrant charcoal grilled blue crabs. At such a young age, he's already free from the 996 life. With the cameraman's cue, the survival challenge officially began. This is an uninhabited island chain, made up of thousands of connected islands. Its unique terrain and distance from the mainland meant that for thousands of years, no one has ever lived here. It's exactly this mystery that sparked Rowan's desire to conquer it. As soon as he set foot on the island, excitement filled him, like a wild horse finally set free. To release his emotions, he leapt straight off a 10-meter cliff without hesitation. Though the land was calm, the surrounding sea told a different story. Far from pollution and human reach, these waters teem with marine life. The ecosystem here is pristine, rich with ocean resources. After searching the seabed with no luck, Rowan decided to explore inland. To keep him from feeling lonely, the cameraman sent his dog along. And so, man and dog set off again together. Go, 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 into the mangroves. Next, they arrived at the mangrove forest. Rowan planned to hunt here. Though the water seemed shallow, It was still full of life. Soon after, he spotted a good-sized stingray. But he chose not to mess with it. One sting from that tail could be life-threatening. His dog tried to get closer, but Rowan quickly called him back. Moments later, he found a big blue crab. To stop it from escaping, he blocked its burrow with a spear, then reached in to grab it. After a short struggle, he sighed, "Lucky you," and moved on. Along the way, man and dog saw many stunning sights. It felt like walking through a land-based ocean park. So many fascinating creatures everywhere. He tried catching food several times, but luck wasn't on his side. He saw many blue crabs, none big enough to satisfy him. Don't be fooled by their size. These crabs have quite the temper. After a long search, he finally found one worth catching. But it slipped back into its hole, leaving Rowan frustrated. Without protective gear, he didn't dare grab it barehanded. Just as they passed another mangrove patch, the dog spotted a huge crab. A closer look, it had only one claw. Tough guy, that made catching it easy. And it was big enough for a full meal. Perfect dinner secured. Next, Rowan began looking for a campsite. On the way, he spotted another stingray. But since he already had dinner, he decided to let it go. No need to waste good food. Scene cut. They found a perfect camping spot. As evening came, the grilled blue crab was ready. Life in the wild was unexpectedly peaceful. Early next morning, Rowan woke up and started crossing the mangroves again. The muddy paths and roots made walking exhausting. So, he decided to get some breakfast first, before moving on, because of the tough terrain. This place became a natural shelter for fish. But that made him wonder, what should he eat for breakfast? After picking his target, Rowan cast out his handmade spear. Finally, he caught a decent-sized fish. This kind of fish has tender meat and is easy to digest. Its protein content is said to be several times higher than that of beef. Truly a perfect delicacy for home travel or adventure, but this guy's cooking skills still leave something to be desired. Such good ingredients, yet turned into dark cuisine. Though judging by his expression, it might still taste okay. After eating and resting a bit, Rowan and his dog continued their journey. After 2 long days, man and dog finally made it out of the vast mangrove forest. The view before them made one feel, if the world had an end, it would probably look like this. Such a view surely deserves a fine meal. Apparently, those squids lining up were perfect for it. And they looked quite slow and clueless. Catching them was even easier than catching fish. After handling the ingredients on the spot, he rushed back to camp to prepare the fire. First, he dug a small pit in the sand, then gathered some firewood. Within moments, the fire was roaring. They say men remain boys till they die. Looks like Rowan is no exception. Top quality ingredients often need only the simplest cooking methods. Oh, you had to go right down, my friend. While others are starving half the time, this man, far from the mainland, used only basic tools to enjoy endless seafood feasts. Every day, it's fishing, crabbing, or playing with small animals, completely lost in the joy of island life. This is an uninhabited island between Sri Lanka and Australia. First, he planned to walk along the coast to study the terrain and collect ocean debris for use. Not far ahead, he spotted something that looked like coconuts. Locals call them fish poison tree. The fruit isn't edible, but when crushed and placed in water, it releases toxins that stun fish. Under the scorching sun, Jack desperately needed water. Luckily, the island was full of coconut trees, and they were perfectly tall and healthy. After drinking from one for hydration, he continued exploring the island. Though remote and uninhabited, the island couldn't escape ocean pollution. But for Jack, this was treasure, not trash. Along the way, he found several old fishing reels, most without hooks, and badly rusted by seawater. He salvaged what he could from torn nets, managing to get some barely usable fishing line. Useful. Alright, that high tide's keeping me stuck here. Plus, there were plenty of land crabs. Perfect bait. A flawless fishing plan was taking shape. Step by step, his progress was quite fruitful. After gathering a few nuts, Jack headed inland for exploration. I need to learn, but since the island was long abandoned, the terrain was nearly impassable. Worse, he didn't even have shoes. So, he had to give up that plan for now. Back at the shore, Jack eagerly started his fishing project. He repaired the line and adjusted the bait. Then took out the fish poison fruit he'd collected. Using this fruit to catch fish was actually simple. Crack the core, toss it into the water, and wait. The toxins stick to the fish's gills, making them suffocate quickly near the shore. Large fish were hard to come by. After all that effort, he caught only a few small ones. Still, that was enough for Jack. He planned to use those small fish as bait. After setting both hooks with fresh bait, he cheerfully headed toward the sea. Clearly, he knew a thing or two about fishing. At a glance, this place looks like a perfect fishing spot. After putting both fishing hooks into the water, Jack didn't let himself stay idle. He gathered up a few more of the stunned small fish. After all, even the tiniest is better than having nothing at all. On the way, he also found a few lobster shells, proving that there must be plenty of lobsters around this island. After wandering around, he quickly went to check his traps. But there wasn't much luck at first. When he lifted the second trap, finally, there was movement. Feeling the struggle in his hands, Jack couldn't help but grin with effort. Right there by the shore, he did a quick cleanup, then prepared to enjoy a good meal, but with only a knife to rely on. Making a campfire wasn't going to be easy. First, he collected some dry coconut leaves, then picked up a piece of bamboo from the beach. He split it in half and scraped at it repeatedly with his knife until he gathered enough bamboo shavings. He placed them into a small hole, then pressed a stick over them, rubbing back and forth to generate heat. Once it got hot enough, the shavings would catch fire, but it was bound to be a long process. Even after grinding the bamboo nearly in half, nothing happened. That's survival for you. Unexpected setbacks are part of the game. But Jack refused to give up. Persistence pays off. On his fourth attempt, when the bamboo was nearly split, he finally saw a glimmer of hope. As dusk began to fall, Jack finally got a fire going. Yes. You beauty. Carefully transferring the flame to his camp, Jack finally breathed a sigh of relief. But it wasn't time to grill fish just yet. This hard-earned catch deserved proper care. He waited until the fire turned to glowing coals, then laid the fish over them. Now it was time to let the magic of patience work. After a few minutes, the air filled with a smoky aroma. The grilled fish was ready. Crispy on the outside, tender inside. Even I couldn't help but drool a little. Eating seafood with a sea view. That feeling hits just right. But for Jack, this was just an appetizer. When night falls and the tide recedes, the real show begins: coastal foraging. Because this island is so remote, the waters here are teeming with life. Countless fresh seafood creatures everywhere. An endless supply. Truly endless. Even lobsters, rare as they are, were all over the place. In just a short while, Jack had already caught more than 5 lobsters. In the end, he only chose the largest lobster and 1 big seashell. The next morning, Jack treated himself to grilled lobster, snacking on nuts while waiting beside the fire. As the shell cracked open with a crunch, rich lobster meat and roe came into view. One bite, and the flavor was explosive. The protein content in this meal must be several times that of beef. At this very moment, I can't help but think maybe it's time I tried surviving too.